Pulsar already dropped a fat mouse on everyone with the X-Lite. Now they're back dropping a sequel, the X2 and the X2 Mini. The standards have already been set at an incredibly high level thanks to the X-Lites. With a new shape and less holes, what lessons have they learned from their first mouse? Can they improve on it and go even further beyond? This will mainly be focused on the regular X2, not the Mini version, it's just too small for me. The shape is the starting focus. The X-Lite was a lovely ergonomic design inspired by the Zowie EC2. This shape, while it's a bit closer to ones like the Zowie S1, Fanatic Bolt and XM1R. A mouse with a hump that is slightly further back and a symmetrical design, this most definitely will cater to those that love to claw grip or fingertip their mice. If you do palm grip your mouse, fear not, but also maybe fear a little bit. I do find that this mouse kind of forces you to use a claw grip. I find that apart from my palm, there isn't anywhere else on the mouse that really gets much contact from my fingers. Now it's probably down to the size of the X2, which is just 120mm long, which is quite small, and the smaller version is even smaller at just 116mm long. Despite this not being designed for my hand, I actually think it's comfortable. I've always wanted to use a claw grip, but just can't stop myself squeezing mice like I'm trying to get juice out of them. So this will probably be a good compromise and hopefully help me break some long-standing habits. There's also no overhang on the buttons, so there's some extra support for your digits, but for my pinky it is just hanging loose on the side, which isn't ideal for me, but by no means a deal breaker. I think overall this isn't really a mouse that is designed for palm grippers. Unless you have very small hands, you should expect to make some adjustments to your grip with this. The other areas are very pleasing, both visually and sensually. Both of these mice have a nice smooth matte coating that is similar to the G Pro Superlight. The lack of holes I feel are somewhat missed, as I do get sweaty hands. I guess at this point it's just personal preference really. As the whole fad is finally over, I do miss them. But for those that also miss holes, you can just flip the mouse over to witness the beautiful craftsmanship on the bottom. Are these holes a cause for concern? No, trust me, unless your mouse mat is covered in various remnants of food, then I'd say your personal hygiene is a greater cause for concern than these gaps. Moving on to the buttons, everything, and I mean everything, feels very high quality. The main switches are using KLGM 8.0s, which feel super crispy and consistent. There's literally no pre-travel to these buttons at all either. All the other buttons have the same quality standard. The side buttons are well placed and feel great to use. The scroll wheel is perfect, and I mean perfect. The scroll wheel is amazing. It's got a great amount of feedback to it, and the notches feel really prominent without it being annoying to scroll through. The mouse 3-click is super consistent and has a very good feel to it. Even the underside buttons, being the power toggle and DPI, are just incredibly high quality and well made. I cannot stress this enough. The quality of this mouse is by far the best that I've ever used in a lot of years of using gaming mice. This is a very well made product. I'd pretty much say that in terms of quality, this is perfect. The sensor is using the 3395, it supports up to 26,000 DPI. Basically the numbers are very high with this, which means it's likely to be good. It also has some funky feature called motion sync, which isn't on by default but can be turned on in the software. To basically summarize, it will add a minor motion delay of less than 1 millisecond. As a result, it will make your tracking a lot more accurate and consistent. Honestly, as I feel most of the graphs that are related to these kind of things are absolutely minimal, I don't think it really matters if you have it on or off. I guess it could just be used as an extra excuse when you whiff all your shots on someone standing still. I had it turned on, tried it for a bit and then turned it off. I couldn't really notice a difference, so if there is one, it's probably negligible. Or I haven't hit the enlightenment that can only be achieved with a certain ratio of Adderall and energy drinks. The software that comes with this is Pulsar Fusion, which is okay. It supports all the basic functions you need, so it's fine. Things like DPI profiles, angle snapping, lift-off distance and stuff are all included. You can have the little DPI light, which is on the left side of the mouse, set to always be on if you want. You can also uninstall this once you've made your changes as well, so it's not forced upon you. When I've been playing with this, it's been fantastic. Even though the shape isn't what I prefer or go for, I still find it comfortable. My fingers being moved to a more relaxed claw position is really nice. I haven't had any issues when playing with it. When I've had to plug it into charge, it's been fine as well with the paracorded cable. I've obviously been playing a lot of Apex Legends, but also some part of Exiles, so the clicks have certainly been tested as well. You can expect the battery life to last a few days on a single charge. It doesn't take long to charge it up either, so it's as expected with most modern wireless mice. I have been using the super glides of mine, and I'll probably do a full up video on this as they aren't the same as the first set that I used. Needless to say, they do feel super glidey, I'll tell you that much. The PTF Fifi I did use for a couple of days before swapping to the super glides, and the PTF Fifi are honestly fine to use as well. The price of this fantastic thing is around $100, which is a little bit more expensive than some other wireless mice, but also cheaper than some of the premium brands. Honestly, this is a great price point, especially when you take into account the quality of this mouse. I can highly recommend this. I remember talking about the X-Lite V2 and how I was looking forward to Pulsar's next mouse and was hoping they'd keep the same standards of quality. With these, they have blown away that standard completely and raised it to a whole other level. These mice are just filled with quality in every department that I think is going to be just so hard for others to even match. If you're worried about the shape, I'd say just give it a go if you can get it from a retailer with simple return options, because if these mice are comfortable for you, you're just going to love it. It's surprising for me to find a mouse that I'd actually recommend and want to use despite it really not being designed for my palm grip. I can't say that it will be my main, but I can say that this is the mouse to beat. Don't have to use it every day to understand or appreciate the high level of quality and standards this mouse has set. Pulsar's trajectory seems incredibly impressive. I really hope it continues, as they deserve every bit of praise they get. If you're wanting to see a review of their other mice, I'll have one up on screen now that you can watch as well.